Hello YouTube, today I'm going to teach you guys how to do a force patina on copper or brass using household items. So for the copper, I'm going to be doing the adjustable airflow ring from the APO, the copper Chayu. For the brass, I'm going to use the Meraxis. All the little tubes have the connector rings with the air holes and then the switch. Okay, so what you're going to need to complete this process is number one, patience, because it's going to take up to 36 hours. Some people keep it up to 48 hours before they actually take it out, put the lacquer on it, and start to use it again. So aside from that, you will need ammonia. You know, it doesn't have to be like supreme ammonia, just any household ammonia. A spray bottle, you'll be putting ammonia in the spray bottle. Be very careful when you pour that ammonia, don't get it on your hands. Any fine sandpaper, I'm using 150 grit. Some people decide to use higher grit than that. Household salt, using natural sea salt. Any type of petroleum jelly. Something to secure what you're going to be patinaing. I'm using 28 gauge Canthol. You can use wire is probably going to be the best unless you're going to put holes through something and tie something else on the other end to keep it secure. So I'm just going to use some Canthol because I know it'll stay sturdy. Something to cut that Canthol if you're going to use it. Some gloves. Clear coat, lacquer, make sure you're getting a clear coat, paper towels, and something to hold what you're patinaing in. And it could be plastic or glass. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do to start your patina off is take whatever you're going to be patinaing and sand it down. Just a light sanding. So you can just wrap it around. Get all that shine off of it. After you've got a good sanding on it, the lines are pretty even. Make sure there aren't really any smooth spots where the patina won't try to stick to. Okay, so that is one piece sanded. So after you have your first piece sanded, it's looking pretty good, go over it, make sure everything is evenly sanded, and then you can go ahead and do the other pieces. So I'm going to do all these pieces and then I'll get back with you. So I have taken all of the mod pieces, rinsed them off, washed them off. Make sure the sanding was nice and final. You want to make sure you wash them off, and then after you wash them off, don't handle them anymore with your hand. Use gloves from then on so you don't transfer the oils from your fingers onto your pieces. So right now those are just gonna, the tubes are drying out. I dried everything else off that I could. I just didn't want to really get all up in the tubes. I got most of it out, but there's still some left. So we have here is the container to show you guys that you can just do it really in any household container. I just got a little Rubbermaid container. I'm not sure what was even in here before. I think we just bought them like this. But this isn't very deep at all. Preferably you want a really, a lot deeper one. And I had like a giant cooler thing that I could have strung things across, but that would have been too much work, and I wanted you guys to see that you could do it with anything in your house. You don't have to go buy these extravagant things to do a nice, DIY patina. So what you're gonna want to do is take some of your paper towel. I say about 2 of them. Open up your container and just, settle that paper towel in there. And you want it to go around all the way. Don't try to scrunch it all onto the bottom. You can fix it all when you close it. Just get that like that. And I already put ammonia in the spray bottle. So you're gonna want to spray enough to get it saturated, but not soaking. Okay, so those of you who have never been around ammonia before, it is very strong. So you want to close that right after, because if you ever smell cat pee, it's been sitting for a while, that's what ammonia smells like. So it's very, very, very strong. You don't want that to be just, lying around your room or your house or whatever, open or anything. So let's get the second one. This is going to be for the Meraxis. Close that up. So after that, you're going to take every piece that has threading. You're going to want to take your Vaseline, petroleum jelly, whatever you have. You're going to want to take that. Like I said, forgive me if the focus goes a little wonky. Take that with a Q-tip and just put it in those threads. Now, if you don't know what threads are, they're just like the little rivets, between the pieces that locks them together. I'm pretty sure most of you know what threads are, but just for those of you that are, new to vaping and have never used any type of tool ever or something. Make sure there's nothing coming onto the parts you want patinaed though, because that spot will not patina. Let me show you guys. This is not the most interesting of things, but here you go. So you guys can actually see what I'm doing. I'm wondering if it's actually, if you can actually see it and it's in focus, but I guess I'll know when this is over. Okay, so make sure that's nice and Vaselined up. Don't worry about it being too much, because you really want to make sure those threads do not get patina on them, because that will be a bitch later to get off. You're gonna have to sand it all off and everything again, so you don't want to ruin a patina after you just did it. Alright, so I'm gonna stop the camera and come back when all of that is done. So excuse the sounds of my rabbit drinking water. But what I forgot to mention before was to also make sure you get the Vaseline onto those contacts as well. So after everything, if you got everything together, if you are afraid that you accidentally got petroleum jelly on the part that you didn't want to get it on, use a non-oil based solution to try to get it off, and that should be fine. Do that with a Q-tip. Don't try to like wash it off again, because you will wash, of course, that petroleum jelly off. So next step is to take your securing wire or securing string, whatever you're going to use, depends on the type of container. We're going to use some Kanthal here. I'm just going to show you a general. This is just 28 gauge. Cut that off. Okay, so we're going to take this 28 gauge Kanthal wire, set that off to the side. Let's go to the spray a little more ammonia. Don't feel like I got it wet enough before. You can put a little of the salt on the bottom. You want to take a piece. I'm going to start with the smaller rings. Put it on there. Go to this side. And tuck it under. And this side. Make sure it's up to where it's not going to be touching that paper towel. And tuck it under. And Kanthal, the reason Kanthal is really good for this is because, of course, Kanthal is going to secure that up. So let's get some more Kanthal wire out. Might as well just get a lot of it and just use one piece to keep cutting from. This piece here. You want to give them a little space. They don't have to be all across the thing from each other, but give them a little space. Make sure that Kanthal's tight. I'll put the big tube in the middle, and you're going to take another piece. For a piece like this, which is normally a button piece, the easiest way to suspend this is to just keep the contact on there. Put petroleum jelly on it. Get that under there as if you were like, you know, putting it on a build post or anything on an RDA. And you're gonna twist it until it's tight over that wire. Get any excess oil off your hands and then put that in there just like all the other pieces. It's all just a technique. Okay, get that on there. We got one more piece that needs to go. Okay, so last piece. You want to also be giving them a last look-see and making sure that no oil on any space where you're going to want to see a patina, because that will definitely mess that up for you. So after you've done this, you're going to, get to a good position. Be very careful, don't be directly over it because you don't want to breathe in those chemicals. You want to spray evenly across and sprinkle some salt. Sprinkle as much as you like. It will change the way the patina looks depending on how much salt you actually put. If you want it to all be uniform, try to keep it uniform then. Very carefully you want to switch sides. Very carefully. Some people do this, they do one spray the other side, put the salt on the other side, and then they just wait, until it starts to patina, and then they come and do the other side. I believe in doing both, and then when you come back, you do the same thing again. Just make sure that underbelly stays wet with ammonia. There's a lot of salt down there. If there's too much salt in one place, you can put a little bit more ammonia. And just be careful, like I said. That ammonia is pretty strong, so get them so that they are able to fit under whatever cap you're using. And cap it. If you're getting a popping when you're trying to close it, you may actually want to just go get some tape and tape the sides, because you do not want those things falling into that ammonia when you have to open it back up. You might want to just do it from the get-go. Turn it around. You can already just see that patina starting on there. So once you're secure with the taping you've done, go ahead and cap it. Alright, so that is one down. You're going to do the exact same thing with the second one. Bottom a little spray. And close that up. And you're going to want to be checking that around every 2 hours until you go to sleep. And for the best patina, you're probably going to want to leave it for like 24 hours. So what I'm going to do is leave it for 2 hours, show you guys what happens. If I'm still up 2 hours after that, I'll show you again. If I'm not, you'll see it in the morning, and then you'll see it when I take it out, and of course you'll see the finished product and my closing remarks. Okay, so our Force Patinas are looking pretty good. You want to carefully and slowly remove those caps to check on them. Okay, so they're both turning blue. This was actually brass plated copper, I noticed when I went and started sanding it off, so that's why that's turning really blue. And of course the copper is turning blue, giving that a nice patina. You don't want to stand directly over it once again. This one isn't patinaing as well, like I figured. But make sure once again they're not just like resting on the bottom, because this one started to drag a little bit. I think what I'm gonna do is flip it over. To get a lot more in that ring there. That ring isn't really getting as good a patina as I wanted. Just another good thing about it is you can just check it every few hours. Put more on it, and then of course at the end, if you're not liking what it looks like, you can get more on there. Like this. I need to get some ammonia and salt on that. So spray everything. Let's go ahead and do another layer of salt. Have to get that ring separately. It's not really sticking to it. Just put some. Alright. Salt on there. Salt here. Salt in there. That out a little bit. How much salt you have in certain areas will affect the actual overall outcome, so you want to be wary of that as well. So let me try to load this up with some salt here. Alright, and flip it to this side, which is the original side when you opened it. Generous amounts of salt here. Don't be shy with the salt. You could actually use a lot more than I'm using here. I'm being kind of relaxed at the moment. You can flip that back over. And just add more salt if you'd like. There you go, there's that one. Carefully put the cap back on. Here's number 2. Like I said, as you can see, this one's not doing as good of a job. There is a patina on it. It's not just doing absolutely nothing. But it kind of just looks like someone just smeared like a blue cruddy stuff on it. Probably could have done more as far as sanding, but you know, this patina session wasn't really about the miraculous. I was just trying to see if it would even hold on there. Let me see if I add a ton more salt to it. Let's just not be shy this time. Let's just salt it up. Okay, let's spread that out a bit. Spread that out a little bit. A little bit. Okay, so it's been another 2 hours, so we're going to check these one more time before I go to sleep and let them go until the morning. Well, afternoon-ish time. So that one is very, very, very blue. So all I'm going to do is go to some of these areas on the underside where a lot of that ammonia has come off. Spray. And the problem you have is if you spray too much, when it goes to the other side, it's going to knock off a bunch of that ammonia. So that's when you kind of gotta, make sure that you haven't destroyed that. So I'm just gonna go around. See, I knocked a lot of it off with the ammonia, which, you know, it creates a nice little, some nice streaking there. So I'm just gonna put a few little drops there because I like what it's actually doing. Okay, so I'm pretty much liking everything so far. So I'm just gonna leave everything until the morning and call that quits. Okay, so it has been about 8 hours, almost 9 hours since I last checked these. So I don't know if you can see it, but very, very, very blue. This is going to be the last run. I'm going to spray it one last good time, put some more salt on it, and then in about 3 or 4 hours, I'll be taking all the pieces out and looking at it and seeing if it's right. If not, it'll be back in here. Okay, so you should probably open a window. I know I had to open a window because that ammonia is so strong. But that patina looks really, really good actually, so I'm just going to keep spraying. And when you spray, you'll get a glimpse of what it looks like because some of that salt will come off. And these pieces are patinaed evenly and beautifully. A little bit of patina got on my copper contact, so I'll be taking that off. And if you need to at this point, feel free to apply some more of the petroleum jelly or Vaseline, whatever you have, if it's gotten onto the parts that you didn't need it to, because it's inevitably going to get onto there a little bit, but you know, the goal is to get it. Okay, so we moved out a little bit just so you can see. You can see when I put a lot of salt on there, it actually made that patina like really different from what it had been before. As you can see on this side, that's areas where that ammonia had been allowed to settle it off. So since the other side is pretty much where I want it, I don't want this side to look too different. So I'm just gonna put some more salt, and I'll do it in different areas. Go for a different look here. So more here, more in that spot there. Okay, just to give it, you know, something different. Oh! Like I said, please open the window because it's really strong, even with the window open. And if you're hearing sounds in the background, that's what it is. It's outside. Enjoy nature. We're gonna leave this for about another 3 or 4 hours, and then I'll get down to wet sanding and putting that lacquer on it. Okay, so here's the Meraxis, and I can already tell that one of them fell. I guess some canthal snapped overnight, but it's the button, so it should be fine. As I said before, it's doing some weird thing. It was brass plated copper, but the brass doesn't want to patina the right way. It's like certain places are patinaed and other places have like this, still have that nice gold brass color. I don't know, but I think I dig it a little bit. I think I dig it. There's also like some normal like rust looky stains. They just look like aged brass, which is cool. I don't know. I feel like this is gonna look like a sunken ship when it's done, which I don't mind. This piece looks good. Okay, I'm gonna like this. This is gonna be like a different look of a patina, but I'm gonna like it. So those of you trying to patina a Meraxis clone, or whoever wins this giveaway or whatever, if you want to do a patina, I'm just gonna let you know it's gonna probably turn out like this. So I've opened the other one. The other one needs about, I'll say another hour, maybe 30 minutes. This one is pretty much done. So the last step that I'm gonna do, I put salt in here with the ammonia, put a little bit more ammonia on top of that, and then shook it around. And what this is gonna do is give it almost the same effect, but we can get some of that salt off the pieces. And I'm going to leave the pieces in here for about 30 minutes. And on this last stretch, you can kind of get a little bit more wet than you normally would. Okay, so I'm gonna cover that up, let that sit for another 30 minutes. Okay, so these have been sitting now for about 30 minutes. Let's see how pretty they are. And because I sprayed them, they're already actually starting to dry out on their own, which might not make any sense to you, but when you spray them and take that salt off and stuff, they actually start to dry out just a little bit. So I'm going to put one last coat of this salt and ammonia spray on both of them. The patina will still change colors while it's drying, so this is not what it's going to look like when it's completely done, so make sure you keep that in mind. I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to go in and clean off the threads where patina actually did get to, and any areas that you don't want it on, like right here. We're going to be setting this to the side now in a well ventilated area. You're going to have a fan on, windows open. Okay guys, so this is dry. I actually let it dry longer than I wanted to, but you know, it's good. It's dry. There's not much salt actually on it, so hopefully I won't have to do too much when I go back and do the, oh that's gorgeous, when I go back and do the clear coat. Hopefully it won't be too lumpy, so I won't have to go back and do wet sanding. Hopefully it'll just be fine. You know, you want to be really careful with it because that patina, until you put that clear coat on it, it won't be completely set. And it can still, you know, change, move, and flake off. So you do want to be very careful with that. So now what I'm going to do is, you're going to want to clean off those threads and the contacts too before you put that clear coat on. Because if you put that clear coat on and your threads are jacked up, you're going to have an issue. So all of that is done. So now I am going to stop the video, put some, in the beginning, I forgot to tell you, you need to have some thread seal tape or Teflon tape to cover those threads up before you actually go and clear coat them. You could have put them on beforehand. We're gonna do it now. So if you have alcohol ink, we actually got some. But if you don't like the way the color actually came out, you just feel like it should, you know, it could have a little bit more color or something around those lines. And this might be for you. This is adding ink to an already pre-made patina. Okay, so we're just adding some green and blue alcohol ink. We just went to Michael's and picked up some of this Adirondack. You can get Ranger or whatever type you like. But what I'm doing is taking this piece here, adding green to it. There's a lot of areas that still have that metal on it. You can put some green on there. Both on and on the side of the patina that's already there. Just adds a different dynamic to it. Some blue. Take some blue and get that in there. You can do this with any patina you really want to. It just adds like a little extra flair to it. And the patina paint, if you do it directly on stainless steel, is also nice. I'm going to be doing a video on that as well. But it forms these very nice little blotches. Forms these really nice blotches all over the place. Okay. I just wanted to give that piece a little bit more dynamic there. Now I say do this before your clear coat, simply because the colors will blend better. The clear coat will seal everything in all at once, instead of having to go back and do things over and over again. Okay, so that's all we're going to do for that. I'm going to be coming back and doing a video on a ink patina actually later on tonight to patina up my Caravella. So I'm going to cover up these threads with the tape, put like a piece of cardboard through the middle or something that can hold it out, and then just spray it. Do about 2 or 3 coats, let it dry for a few minutes, then do another 2 or 3 coats, see what it looks like. If we need to wet sand it, we will. If not, it will be the way it is. Okay, so these are the patinas after I put 2 coats, I believe. 2 coats, and I let them sit for about 17 hours. Actually, it's been longer than that because I waited a little bit longer to do the video. So this is pretty much a 24-hour coating on them. This one I'm going to leave the way it is because I want it to look almost like a old sunken chip type deal. I want it to be a little bit rougher. So while it was actually drying, I went and I moved around some of the lacquer, made it have a little bit of lump. I took a needle later and just like, you know, touched it in certain places so it had a bit of a rough feel to it. So I really like the way that looks. So that's really cool. I did the button as well. So yeah, this one looks really good. I think this turned out better than I thought it would, especially since it, you know, has a really cool theme to it. The APO ring looks really good. I don't think I'm going to do another coat on this because I like it the way it is. I really like it the way it is. So that's going to stay the way it is, I believe. I meant to cover the APO logo with the Petroleum Jelly just so it would still be there. Just so there was a bit of copper there to go with the mod. But, you know, I think it's still great. And, you know, I didn't want to go back and take it off or anything, so I just left it the way it was. Put that back. The mod here is phenomenal. It looks great. I could have actually left it a little bit longer if I would have wanted some more color to come out. It just looks phenomenal. I don't know how good you're seeing it on camera, but that is beautiful. I did the button as well. When it was drying, I actually moved it. I don't know if you can see, but there's a piece on here where the lacquer pulled off a little bit. So I'm gonna go back and redo that as well. And I took all of the patina off of this ring here and just put blue alcohol ink instead because I liked it better than having patina there. So the alcohol ink looks really good. It just gives it that blue color. I'm gonna go back and redo the blue on there and then put another clear coat on that. All the threading is still really nice. Everything does what it's supposed to do. Everything does what it's supposed to do. It still fires perfectly fine. The switch is perfectly fine. So that is good. Alright. So now we're going to back out and I'm going to show you that they still vape perfectly. Okay, so they're both firing up pretty well. You may have to go and do a little bit of tweaking. Make sure all of your threads are nice and clean. Make sure that you don't have any patina or lacquer, that is, any lacquer in a spot that is going to restrict button movement. You want to make sure that contact can still contact the battery, so you can still get a clean vape. If you have any issue with your contacts, make sure you're just going back and checking everything. Make sure your copper contact or your brass contact, silver contact, whatever you have, make sure it's cleaned off. If you did get any patina or lacquer on it, you need to remove that. You need to touch the bare metal with the battery. The problem that I had was with the Chayu actually down here. There was a little bit of lacquer in between these two pieces. So I had to go in and scrape that out, take that off, just to make sure that it would still fire correctly. Because when I taped it, I taped the thread, but not that little disc there, and I forgot how close these two had to go. So that was my original issue. Alright, well that is it for this patina video. These are how they turned out, absolutely gorgeous. I love them. If you have any questions about the process, if there's something you didn't see that you really need some clarification on, make sure you message me or comment below this video, or tell me on Instagram so I can go ahead and let you know directly. That's all I have for this video. As always, vape true, vape right, and vape on.